Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, and much respect to the power God of Israel, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Yahweh means He exists. Bahashem, Ba means in, Hashem means the name. Yahushai means He deliverer. He's the only begotten Son of the Most High Yahweh, and He only died for the 12 tribes of Israel, beginning with the elect. Racha Kwadash, meaning Holy Spirit. Back at it again with another lesson through the Racha wa Allah, Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And today's lesson, I'm gonna really make the objective about God's villains, because in my walk in this gospel, I've had a couple experiences, and my first experience, or spiritual experience, was I believe it was 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, I was this was before I was really rooted inside the gospel. I had an encounter with this demon one time, and I was calling upon the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and what it told me was that he was a villain of the Most High, a villain of God. That's what the unclean spirit told me. And when I heard it tell me that he's a villain of God, what I said to the unclean spirit was, I rebuke you in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. This was a couple of years back that this happened, and I'm just basically enlightening you that the spiritual realm is actually real. Now that's one instance of me seeing it. Yahushai spoke to a demon called Legion. He rebuked the demon to enter into the pigs. And I also had an encounter with a real, holy angel. And this was when I first joined the church of Yahushai. I was standing watching the camp, and I saw an old man. He was holding a staff in his hand, and he was walking on the street, and brothers were, prophesying. And the minute the man looked at me, I became blind for about 4 to 5 seconds. But it wasn't blindness in the sense of seeing darkness. 1 second. So anyways, I saw a man holding a walking stick, and when he was holding this walking stick, it was in the location of Brixton, and it was an old man, and as people were, teaching at that time, when he looked at me, I was blinded for about 4 to 5 seconds, but it wasn't a blindness of darkness. It was a blindness of just seeing pure white. And when he turned his face away from me, he carried on walking. And I've been meditating on this for a long period of time. And I believe that that holy angel that came in human form, I suspect that he told the Most High that I've woken up. But anyways, I want to really go into the detail on what this really is talking about, because the title of this lesson is really to speak about the Most High's villains. So I'm gonna start the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 22, starting at verse 19. It says, "And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left." So in the third heaven, and the third heaven is a real place. The third heaven is a realm that when you die, every human being goes to that realm, the third heaven. And in that dimension, you have the holy angels that stand in formation on the right hand of the Most High. And then you have the principalities, demons that stand on the left hand of the Most High. There's a heavenly court system that's up there. Okay? So we really, really got to understand that. Now, verse 20. "And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner." So, before things happen in this realm called Earth, this planet called Earth, things have to be cancelled in the heavens before it can be enterprised on Earth. So, the Most High was asking the heavenly host, who is going to persuade Ahab to basically fall, to basically die? Verse 21, "And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him." You see? We have to understand this is very, very real. And this can not only just apply to Ahab, this can apply to anyone. Like, I'll give you an example. Anyone that dies, the Most High is the one that kills and makes alive. He's the one that heals and he's the one that wounds. No one can. Let me get that. So we're in 1 Kings 22 and 21. Okay, let me get it. Let's get it. Let's get more understanding on that. I believe it's in Deuteronomy. Because the Most High is the one that kills. He's the one that makes alive. So let's get it real quick. Numbers, Deuteronomy. Let's get it. Um, Deuteronomy 32, verse 39. "See now that I, even I am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." What does that mean? Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. That basically means if the Most High wants to get somebody, nobody can escape. You know, in this system, they have people that they have people that basically escape. You got most wanted. Police officers are driving, trying to find that person, and then all of a sudden the guy just does like a slide on the road and he escapes. When it comes to the Most High, you can't escape. There's no escaping. every human, every spirit is subject to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. There's no escaping the Most High. So the best thing to do is just to submit to Him, because you're not more powerful than Him. You're not more stronger than Him. We're weak. So you might as well submit to the Most High, man. Because if you don't submit to the Lord, you're doomed. You're doomed. You are literally doomed. So anyways, carrying on reading what I was reading. We were at verse 21. And there came forth a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit. Alright, so for the fact of it saying it's going to be a lying spirit, then this spirit, I assume, would be a left-handed spirit. A left-handed spirit, meaning an unclean spirit, in the mouth of all his prophets. So this demon said to the Most High that he's going to go forth. He's going to go from the third heaven into the earthly realm. And not only is he going to enter into the earthly realm, when he enters into the earthly realm, he's going to enter into specific prophets. And when he enters into those specific prophets, he's going to alter their words, alter their mind to speak lies so that Ahab can be killed. Alright? And he said, Thou shalt persuade him and reveal also, go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. Now, this is a real story that happened. This is historically that happened. Now, I was meditating in my mind. What does the word villain mean? Because this spirit told me that he's a villain of the Most High, that he's God's villain, that he works for the Most High. And I was meditating in my mind, what does the word villain mean? All right, let's go into that word villain. Let's go into that word villain. And this is how you know these celebrities, with Beyonce, Drake, they all worship Satan. Because if that spirit can talk to me and I rebuked it and I heard the voice, then how much more those that actually entertain that? All right, so let's go into the word villain. The word villain means what? In the 1300s, late 12th century, a surname, base or low-born rustic. It says peasant, farmer, commoner. Let's go into the point. It says character in a novel, play, whose evil motives or actions help drive the plot. So when it comes to the scenario of Ahab, that spirit, that lying spirit, helped drive a plot. How did it help drive a plot? It helped drive a plot because the Most High had a plot where he wanted someone to catch Ahab for him to be slain. And this spirit said, I'm going to be the one that's going to help make sure that Ahab basically gets killed. I'm going to jump into those prophets and entice him to fall. Alright, so the word villain means evil motives, actions help drive the plots. In superhero movies, right? They have characters like in Spider-Man, you have Venom. In Sonic the Hedgehog, you have Shadow or Mr. Eggman. Alright, that's just cartoons, but in reality, you have these villains and they help drive plots. They help drive plots. And in this case scenario, we're reading about how this spirit helped drove a plot for Ahab to fall. So let's carry on reading. Alright. But verse 23. So 1 Kings 22 and 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. But Zedekiah the son of Hanun went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek, and said, Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, Behold, thou shalt see in that day, when thou shalt go in to inner chamber to hide thyself. And the king of Israel said, Take Micaiah and carry him back unto Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Josh the king's son, and say, Thus saith the king, Put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction, and with the water of affliction, until I come in peace. Alright, so I want to just go to the point. Okay? I want to go to the point. Verse 39. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab, and all that he did, and ivory house which was made, and all the cities. Bro, I'm trying to find the point where. Let me just pause this. Okay, so let me go to the point. So let's go to it. So this is 1 Kings chapter 22, starting at verse 8. It says, And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom he may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. So there was one prophet that was telling Ahab, telling him, listen, if you go out there for war, you're gonna die, you're gonna be in trouble. It says, Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, Hasten hither Micaiah the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah sat each on his throne, having put on their robes in a void place, in the entrance of the gate of Samaria, and all the prophets prophesied before them. And notice how your human eyes cannot see the spiritual realm. Okay? And these men, they can't see the spiritual realm. And because they cannot see the spiritual realm, these kings cannot even understand that there's unclean spirits that entered into the body of those prophets and were using them as a vessel to speak lies. And this is what happens. We're wrestling against spirits that we cannot see because the human eyes does not enable us to see. Now you had the scenario of Elijah where the Lord increased his pineal glands, his eyes, where he could see those chariots. But there's a certain level where, you can see these things, but hey, the Lord has made our eyes to be in a certain level. Verse 11, And Zedekiah the son of Hanun made him horns of iron, and said, Thus saith the Lord, With these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou have consumed them. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king's hand. So see, and these guys were saying the Lord is going to deliver it into the king's hand. So someone can use the Lord's name and still be wrong. These men were saying the Lord is going to go, hey, go out there, go fight. The Lord is going to make sure that you're going to win that battle. All right. Verse 13, and the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. And Micaiah said, As the Lord liveth, what the Lord said unto me, that will I speak. So Micaiah he didn't care about people's emotions or how people felt. He had to say what the Lord commanded him to say. Now the other guys, they genuinely believed that they were right, but they were wrong. They prophesied a lie to the king. But the whole reason why I'm reading this is that villain plotted. But he said he was a villain of God. So if you're a villain, select it 1 second. Satan doesn't want this to come out, but it's coming out. If that spirit is a villain of God, that means that God, Yahweh, would command him to perform a plot. And in this case scenario, we're reading about a plot that happened to the king. Alright? So, let me just skip to the point. Verse 18 says, And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy not good concerning me, but evil? And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left, and said, Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. But Zedekiah, the son of Hanan, so hang on. Let's go into the point. Let's go into the point. Let's read about the plot. So we have already read the scheme, okay? So the Most High said, who's going to deliver Ahab unto him? And there was a demon, an unclean spirit, that said, I'm going to be the one that's going to enter into earth. And once I enter into earth, I'm going to enter into those prophets, manipulate their mind, and basically make them say a lie to Ahab. So notice how, remember, hang on. Let's remove this. Let's remove that. Notice how the word villain means what? It says action to help drive a plot. And that lying spirit helped drive a plot to make sure that Ahab was delivered to the Lord. Now the whole reason why I'm reading this, right, is that these unclean spirits, they're helping driving a plot right now. Look at your life. Look at your emotions. Look at your day-to-day life and be like, hang on a second. Why is this person trying to make me angry? What is going up in the spiritual realm? You have to analyze and understand what's going on. Because with the physical eye, carnality, with the physical eye, you can't really understand what's going on. But this word, this Bible, enlightens you on what goes on in the unseen world. The Bible gives us an understanding on what happens in the unseen realm. And because it gives us an understanding on what happens in the unseen realm, when physical things happen, like people annoying us or people just trying to look for our trouble, because we have an understanding, we're enlightened with this word, we can actually understand, okay, Khan, that's an unclean spirit that entered into that person to try and make me angry. Okay, I went to this interview, and this person, an unclean spirit entered into them to look for my trouble. Okay, this demonic spirit, and this is the reason why these things occur. So we have to really, really understand what is really going on. Because if you're carnal, you're basically through. You are finished. You have to be spiritual. That's why Yahweh Shai said to Simon, said that once you're strengthened, strengthen your brothers, strengthen your brethren, because Satan is out there. Don't think that Satan doesn't want to catch you. All right? Don't think that the demons don't want to catch you, because they do want to catch you. They want to see you fail. And that's the reason why you have to have the armor. You have to pray. You have to pray. Including, I'm talking to myself. You have to pray. Because we are in a spiritual warfare. And not only are we in a spiritual warfare, there are entities that want to see you fail. Now, let's go into that word villain. It says, let's go into that word villain. Okay. That's pretty much it. Well, let's read the plots of what happened. Let's read the plots. Let's read the plot. Because Ahab didn't like the fact that the prophets prophesied truth, or the prophets, Micaiah prophesied truth to him, and the other prophets prophesied lies. Yeah. So, verse 35. Let's start at verse 34. A certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joint of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, Thy hand, and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day. And the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even. And the blood ran out of the wounds into his midst of the chariot. And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, Every man to his city, and every man to his own country. So the king died and brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. See? And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood. Licked up his blood, and they washed his armor according unto the word of the Lord which he spake. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab, and all that he did, and the ivory house which he made, and all the cities that built. So, it says, ivory house which he made, and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Ahab slept with his fathers, and Isaiah, his son, reigned in his stead. So the point that I'm trying to make is that he slept with his fathers. And when he slept with his fathers, guess what happened, man? He went to the same place that his fathers went to. It says, so Ahab slept with his fathers, and Isaiah, his son, reigned in his stead. And that shows you that when you die, you sleep with your fathers. Whether you're wicked, whether you're righteous, all spirits go to the third heaven, the Shemayim. That's where all spirits go to when they die. Gotta understand that. It's not no, you don't die and go to this underworld, this dimension that you burn in hell, or you go up there in the Shemayim and you enter a gate and you're staying there for all eternity. No, you rest with your fathers. Okay, and you're gonna have brothers in the gospel that are gonna go to that dimension, that are gonna go to that realm and rest with their fathers until Yahweh returns. And the Apostle Paul tells you that those which are alive will be beamed up, but the ones that will get beamed up first are the ones that died in the faith. And the reason why I'm really speaking about this is that we are in a spiritual battle. And notice how this whole thing was orchestrated. There's a heavenly council that orchestrates things. That, or I'm going to be the guy in the movie that enters the prophets, and prophesy lies in the ears of Ahab. So we got to really understand what's going on. And there's certain men in the gospel where, those same spirits are going to enter into them and prophesy lies just for the doom of their destruction. Alright, those lying spirits, those manipulative spirits, those spirits that lie and cause men to be destroyed unto that second death. Now I hope that brothers repent, because at the end of the day, we have to come inside this gospel humble. And remember, these spirits, these spirits have lived for thousands of years. They've studied human psychology. Not only have they studied human psychology, they're very good at analyzing people. That's why it's called a familiar spirit. A familiar spirit is a spirit that is familiar with you, familiar with empires, has studied the pattern of empires. So we have to be very aware and cautious. So yeah. And remember, you have your own demon that you're fighting against. There's a demon out there that doesn't want to see you win. He might have sharp teeth, red eyes, bushy hair, okay? And he's like, I want to try my best to make sure he doesn't enter into the kingdom, okay? And that's the demon that you're fighting against. Everyone has a demon that they're fighting against. And there's demons that are assigned to try and make your day hell. But you have to fight those spirits. Now there's a balance, because you have holy angels. Every brother in this ministry has a team of holy angels that watch your day-to-day life, that protect you. I definitely know that I'm being protected by holy angels, because and I thank the Lord for sending holy angels to protect me, because sometimes these spirits want to attack me when I'm sleeping. But for these past few days, you know, I personally believe that there's been holy angels that have been hedging me, protecting me from these spirits attacking me. So, anyways, before I close out, let me just do this real quick. Now, I asked ChatGPT a couple of questions, just to, get some information. I asked it a hypothetical question, but the reason why I asked a hypothetical question is to get information. So it says in a hypothetical scenario where beings traditionally perceived as villains of God align their actions with God's will, because that's what the demons do, they work on God's will, they're just on the left hand side. It might suggest a complex interpretation of divine intentions. This concept challenges conventional perceptions by suggesting that these entities often associate with opposition to divine order, because that's what the Christians believe. They believe that the demons are in opposition to the Most High's divine order, which is a lie. They work for the Most High. Could paradoxically fulfill God's plan by catalyzing events that in intricate cosmic design ultimately serve God's greater purpose. These villains might operate as instruments in a grand divine scheme, and that's what we read about Ahab. The grand divine scheme. Those demons were sent to be lying. Lied to Ahab using those prophets, carrying out tasks or playing roles essential to a larger enigmatic blueprint. Their seemingly malevolent actions could be a part of convoluted cosmic narrative serving as catalysts for moral lessons, testing human resolve. Alright, so testing humans. Alright, testing, those that are in the faith, because what happened to Job? Satan was used in order to test Job, to see whether Job was an actual servant of the Most High, or even offer opportunities for growth and redemption within the framework of God's achieving design. This intricate view would imply a deeper layer of divine orchestration, where even those traditionally seen as adversaries contribute to the fulfillment of a higher divine purpose, despite their actions seem contrary to the traditional notion of goodness. Such a perspective challenges the multi-dimensional understanding of divine intention and roles played by all entities with the cosmic narrative guided by God. So here's the point. So we gotta understand that. So, anyways, with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Shemi Shai. Hope this was edifying to you. Shalom.